Hello, grade 4. Let's talk about lesson 19, Harvesting Hope, the story of Cesar Chavez. Objectives: unlock vocabulary words based on context and use them in sentences. Recognize biography and make conclusions and generalizations about the text, and demonstrate reading fluency and comprehension skills. Let's begin with vocabulary in context. 1. Overcome. Cesar Chavez worked hard to overcome or conquer hardships. So what do you do when you're facing a problem? Of course, you wouldn't let that problem get the best of you. You have to overcome it or conquer it. In other words, you have to defeat that hardship. Number 2 is association. These kids have formed a group or association that cleans up beaches. So the root word of association is to associate, okay, or to come together to work on a certain purpose. Association in this sentence also means group, a club, or an organization. 3 is capital. A state capitol is a building where lawmakers can make and change laws, like the building you see here in the picture. This is the US Capitol. So Capitol is a building where government officials meet. Number 4 is drought. In the 1930s, a drought or lack of rain made life hard for many farmers. Of course, water is important to grow crops. Okay, so in a period of drought, there will be no harvests. So drought in this sentence means lack of rain or a time with little or no rain at all. Number 5 is dedicate. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to dedicate his life to equality. It was his life's work. So he ended up sacrificing his life for the sake of equality even. So dedicate in this sentence means to set something aside for a special purpose. Number 6 is publicity. The media can spread publicity or news about events and causes. So publicity is something that you make public, okay? You make other people know it. So news is one form of publicity. Another meaning of publicity would be information that is given to the public to get attention. Number 7 is violence. Many people believe change should come through peaceful ways, not violence. So you have the antonym of violence right here, which is peaceful ways. So violence in this sentence means the use of physical force in order to achieve something, but that is not necessary in order to achieve change. Number 8 is conflicts. Most conflicts or disagreements can be solved by talking things over. There was actually no need to fight. So conflict in this sentence means disagreements, okay, or fights and quarrels. Number 9 is horizon. In the fields, Chavez often worked until the sun fell below the horizon. So look at this picture where the sun is setting. This is the horizon. So horizon is where the earth meets the sky. Number 10 is brilliant. The bright, brilliant colors of the American flag symbolize freedom. So brilliant means bright and shining. Our target skill in lesson 9. Let's begin with vocabulary in context. 1. Overcome. Cesar Chavez worked hard to overcome or conquer hardships. So what do you do when you're facing a problem? Of course, you wouldn't let that problem get the best of you. You have to overcome it or conquer it. In other words, you have to defeat that hardship. Number 2 is association. These kids have formed a group or association that cleans up beaches. So the root word of association is to associate, okay, or to come together to work on a certain purpose. Association in this sentence also means group, a club, or an organization. So this is our story cover, Harvesting Hope, the story of Cesar Chavez, written by Kathleen Kroll and illustrated by Yuyi Morales. Essential question, why is farming important? So you can pause this video to think about your answer to our essential question. Now let's talk about farming. Of course, it's important because one of the basic needs of a human person is food, right? And without farming, there will be no food. So in order for us to survive, we have to sustain ourselves. So farming, crops, harvesting, okay? These are all means for us to sustain ourselves in order for us to be productive members of society. So farming is not only about harvesting crops and giving them out as food for the consumers, but also sustaining the community because farming is a form of industry. Now let's read the summary of Harvesting Hope, the story of Cesar Chavez. You can access the entire biography of Cesar Chavez in e-resources of our school portal. When Cesar Chavez was a boy, his family owned a farm. Then a drought or a very dry period came and killed their crops. Cesar's family had to sell their farm and move to California. In California, they picked fruits and vegetables for very little money. They struggled to live. Caesar had conflicts at school because he did not speak English. Caesar and his family were miserable. Other migrants and farm workers had problems too. The landowners treated the workers badly. The workers lived in tiny, dirty shacks. The landowners punished workers who complained. Caesar was upset about this. When he grew up, Caesar dedicated his life to helping farm workers. He started the National Farm Workers Association. In time, Caesar got farm workers to go on strike or stop working. Then he started a march to the state capitol. Thousands of workers marched with him. The brilliant green farms reached to the horizon, but there weren't any workers on them to pick the grapes. The workers were at the state capitol. Farm owners tried to stop the strikes, but Caesar did not respond with violence. He wanted to use truth to fight for justice and overcome problems. Caesar and the farm workers complained to the governor about working conditions. The landowners gave the workers pay raises and better conditions to stop the bad publicity. Caesar's plan worked. So as you have listened to the summary, try and make conclusions and generalizations about the challenges that Cesar Chavez has faced from when he was young until he led the National Farm Workers Association and asked for change for the sake of the farm workers. So you can gather text evidence, details, in order for you to make your conclusion or generalization. And you can check out more by logging in EIS portal and going through e-resources and checking out our references right here. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.